Hola amigos de Wine News TV, les invito a conectar conmigo y con mis invitados en Wine News TV On The Go, un podcast que a su vez es un espacio donde aprenderás sobre el mágico mundo del vino a través de invitados de todas partes del mundo que nos contarán sobre sus proyectos para obsequiarnos de forma embotellada música, fuego y leones, como decía el gran maestro argentino Jorge Luis Borges en su poema Soneto al Vino. Seguimos con Eric Based aquí en Dr. Frank. Vamos ahora a probar espumosos. Tenemos 4 referencias del portafolio de Dr. Frank. Les estaba diciendo en Instagram, si ya vieron el post, que el señor Willy Frank, hijo de Dr. Konstantin Frank, allá para el año 85, se dio la tarea de decir por qué no podríamos o por qué no podemos hacer aquí burbujas cuando tenemos el clima perfecto para hacerlo. Don Willy Frank, amante de la champaña, se propuso hacerlo y hoy en día los vinos del estado de Nueva York principalmente son conocidos por la uva Riesling en blanco, por la Cabernet Franc en tintos, pero mucha gente está hablando maravillas de sus espumosos, sus burbujas hechas al estilo de champenois o al estilo tradicional, o sea, como la champaña con la segunda fermentación en la botella. Y vamos a probar hoy con ustedes. All right, Eric, what do we have? What are we starting with?
So we're going to start with what we call Celeb. It's 100% Riesling. All of our sparkling wines are traditional methods, so the secondary fermentation happens in the bottle. And then this particular wine is aged between 18 and 24 months in our cellar.
This is the one that I have on the left.
It is the one on your left, yes.
Okay, and this is 100% Riesling.
100% Riesling. And, you know, for us, Celeb, we just think about being festive. It's our most reasonably priced. It's our kind of opening to the sparkling world for around here. And it's just fun. It's easy. It's got a touch higher dosage and a touch higher residual sugar than our vintage sparkling wines. But it's just delicious. Nice. It shows you the fruit of Riesling.
The fruit of Riesling, but you have at the same time that yeasty component of the second fermentation in bottle that will provide a nuttiness, if you will. But it's very easy to drink, very, as you said, relaxed. It's a very relaxed bottle of bubbles. How much does this retail for here in the winery?
$25. So for traditional method wine, it's very reasonable.
It's very reasonable because making a traditional method, it's expensive. It requires, resources to do. Okay, the second wine, the second bubble. What do we have here?
This is our Brut. So Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, all estate fruit. Typically sees between 3 and 4 years on the yeast. I will point this out to you. Yeah. So this is a 2021. And our disgorgement date's always on the back. Okay. So you'll know how long in tirage. So this was September 2024. This was disgorged. We disgorged to order.
Touch for 1 minute, if you will, for those who love bubbles and have seen the word disgorge and don't know what it means and why it's important to reveal disgorgement date on the bottle. Can you touch on that?
So disgorged is after the secondary fermentation, there's yeast trapped inside the bottle. There's sediment in the bottom of the bottle. And so actually Madame Clicquot came up with the process because she didn't like cloudy wine. So basically the technique is you turn the bottles from their side where they've been resting for years, and you slowly turn them up so that all the yeast ends up down in the cap. And traditionally there were riddlers. That was a profession where people would turn the bottles, slowly turn them up. We have these gyro pallets where it'll slowly turn it up and over the period of 24 hours get all the yeast in the cap.
I've seen them in Catalonia.
Yes, and I'll show you, I'll take you there later.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And then you basically freeze the very top of the wine. You put the bottle in upside down in this food grade glycol, which is below freezing. It'll freeze, and then you pop what at that point looks like a soda top. And the pressure from inside the wine will push out that frozen plug, which also has the yeast in it. Mm-hmm. And then we add back a little bit of the same wine that you just took out. And then if you want any dosage, which is a sugar content to try and balance the wine. And
famous liqueur d'expédition.
Yes, yes. And then you put the final cork, which is basically an oversized cork. It gets jammed in there, and then the wire closed to hold in all those atmospheres of pressure.
Couldn't have been better explained. Just like Tito explains to me what he does. All right, so let's go to this. This is very nice. It's a lovely nose. I'm getting apples. I'm getting a nice touch also of flowers. Oh, very nice. Let's go for a whirl. Very clean. It's a serious champagne-like sparkler from the Finger Lakes. Very well made.
And are you getting that wet stone minerality compared to the chalk?
I'm getting that sensation of a river stone. It's mineral. It's definitely mineral, much more than being salty. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
So now I'm going to move on to fun wines to contrast. So we have a Blanc de Blanc, which is 100% estate Chardonnay.
Okay.
And then we have a Blanc de Noir,
all right,
which is a combination, mostly Pinot Noir with a little Pinot Meunier. But both of these are clear. So they're going to look the same in the glass, but obviously the different fruit will give you different fruit tones on the palate and on the nose.
The Blanc de Blancs is spectacular on the nose. Spectacular. It's reminding me of Don Renard. I love the Don Renard Blanc de Blancs, which is a very feminine expression, very delicate, very ethereal, very... Oh boy, this is gorgeous.
I love the Blanc de Blanc.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, it's just pure, beautiful Chardonnay fruit, but in the packaging of a traditional method sparkling wine,
it's mind blowing. It's delicious. It's an incredible bottle of bubbles. And this is what, $50?
This one, between $40 and $50. And this one sees more time on the yeast. These vintage sparkling wines. So the Blanc de Blanc saw 4 years on the yeast. This Blanc de Noir that you're about to taste also saw 4 years on the yeast.
2020. We're having both of them are vintage, are from the 2020 vintage, which was a terrible year for mankind with COVID and whatnot. How was the 2020 vintage for grapes?
It was the driest, hottest vintage we've had in decades. So,
which is great for a cool climate region to acquire a bit more of beef on the grapes.
So we had tremendous ripeness, and our reds showed very much like higher end and better reds. For us, we still picked for the bubbles early. So this will show a little more fruit than usual. But
it's crazy good, Eric. This is crazy good. Again, this is something that can compete with a champagne that retails for $100, $125. It's Blanc de Noir. It's gorgeous. So you say it's mostly Pinot?
Mostly Pinot.
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir, but it does have also some estate Pinot Meunier,
which adds layers of also weight. Oh my gosh, what a delicious nose. That Pinot Noir, cola, earthy, little tinge of... I just love Pinot.
And these wines are spectacular. I mean, I obviously am a fan and I work here, but when I was interviewing here, these weren't on my radar at the quality level that they are. So
How long have you been with the company?
I've been here 8 years. And I've been selling wine for 25, so I'd like to think I know a little something about wine, and I've worked for wineries all over the world. And when I was interviewing, I brought home a couple cases of wine, and every night my wife and I would share some wine with dinner. And every night when I opened the bubbles, I was just blown away. I was like, are you kidding me? Do you taste how delicious? This is a traditional method wine, a vintage traditional method Blanc de Blanc, for $40, $50.
You can get both bottles for $100 or with
if you know the prices of champagne.
Yeah, of course.
And they're mind blowing. They're very good wines.
What you said a while ago about contrasting is incredible, because you can see the differences in style and aromas. It's a little class in a nutshell of how the two main grapes for not only Champagne, but also Burgundy, Chardonnay, and Pinot Noir. Compare and contrast. One, the Blanc de Blancs. Obviously, you have that lovely, apple fruit and the lemon oil, but here with the second fermentation, you get a little bit of brioche, a little bit of that biscuit component to it, cookie, and then on the Pinot, you have a much more sauvage, like wild aromas. Chardonnay, obviously, being more elegant, if you will, Pinot more rustic, but also at the same time complex and ethereal, and wow, lovely, 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 both of them, amazing. These are not yet in Puerto Rico, right?
No, they're not.
Okay, and are they in Florida or not yet?
These, not yet. I think the Celeb is going to be soon, and we've been discussing some of these other wines. So
they're in New York City, though.
They are in New York City, yes, and
these are fantastic. These have been fantastic. And the Brut, what's the price point on the Brut?
It's $35, I think.
Amazing. So do you bottle any other bubbles, or these are the 4 bubbles you guys make?
We actually have a couple other. We have a dry rosé or a Brut rosé that we make. We have a Celeb rosé, so a little higher dosage, and a $25 price point, a little lower price point, sees less time in tirage. And then we have a couple small bottlings. We actually have an Arcazzatelli, which is one of our signature grapes here at the winery, a Georgian varietal. And we have a Gruner. We like many wineries, we're always experimenting.
You guys do a lot of experimentation, and that keeps on with the legacy of Dr. Frank.
Yeah,
keep on pursuing and experimenting and seeking out the next frontier.
Yeah, we're constantly we're trying to constantly get better, but also constantly, see what else we can make. See what we like cool wines. We like fun wines. And so, like
cool from climate and cool from cool.
Yeah. We also have a Riesling with 0 dosage. It's a Riesling Nature, which if you ever have, if you're familiar with like a Laurent Perrier with a 0 dosage, it's a total mind blower as far as it's so dry and so bright. But if you have it with certain dishes, it
comes alive.
Amazing.
Yeah, it changes. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up the second part of the interview. Right after this, we're going to talk to Mr. Frank, the grandson of Dr. Konstantin Frank, and maybe we'll try a little bit of the reds as well for social media. Thank you, my friend. I can only hope to see you again in Puerto Rico or here when I come back. Bueno, mi gente, con esto terminamos la segunda parte de esta entrevista. Qué espectáculo. Todos los espumosos tienen su lugar y tienen su estado de ánimo. El Celebré es un Riesling maravilloso, fácil de tomar, aromático, con muy bonita acidez para refrescar en el calor. Luego el Brut, para aquellos de ustedes que les gusta la champaña, non-vintage, por así decirlo. En este caso es un Brut Vintage del 2021. Está delicioso. Is the 2021 Brut the traditional 3-grape Chard, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. And then el Blanc de Blancs, mi gente, es una locura. Compite con cualquier Blanc de champaña que puede costar $125. Estoy pensando el Blanc de Don Ruinar. Me llevó mucho a esa expresión aromática y se consigue por $40. Y el Blanc de Noirs, que es principalmente Pinot Noir con algo de Pinot Meunier, también delicioso. Thank you so much, Eric. Con esto terminamos la segunda parte de la entrevista. Venimos ya mismo. Este fue el episodio de hoy. Recuerda dejarnos una reseña para que nos ayudes a crecer, suscribirte y recomendarnos con tus amigos amantes del vino. No importa cuán avanzado estés en el recorrido de enamorarte de aquello que decían sobre el vino. Son uvas transformadas en poesía. Aquí hay espacio para todos. Salud y como siempre, dale share.